Hello, interns. This is a completely asynchronous course to accompany your internship experience. Your off campus involvement in whatever company or organization you're with should offer you two primary things. One, you're going to be able to gain some valuable skills in a real work environment. And I want you to fully invest yourself in that process. Look for ways that you can make yourself an asset to the organization that you're working for. Our hope is that you will accumulate relationships and skills that would perhaps cause them to want to offer you a position or a job in the future. So the second thing that it will offer you is some clarity into your career path. That's our hope with internships, is not only are you accumulating skills, but you're also getting a clearer vision of what you want to do with your career after Bethel. And so most of our students find these internships as a primary way to do that. And this may be your first internship. If so, I hope that you will consider doing additional internships in the future. The internships that you do are a valuable addition to your resume and often the steps toward your first job. So don't think of an internship as a one-off. Think of perhaps doing a sequence of internships that continue to add skills and clarity that get you to where you want to be by the time you graduate, so that you're really clear about the kind of job that you're going to search for. Okay, so what are we doing in this class as a complement to the internship experience, the on-site or off-campus experience? Primarily what we're doing in this class is working on professional development. So all of the things that I'm going to ask you to do will be taking baby steps toward building a professionalism that you might not have built into your life yet. It's ways to act in a professional environment. It's ways to search for a job. It's ways to think about the kind of environment that you want to work in after graduation. So all of those things play into the seminar component of this internship class. So there's a couple of things that you should do right away as the course begins. One is download the syllabus, read through that. It's going to give you some big picture objectives and assignment descriptions of the kinds of things we're going to do in the class. It's also going to run through the requirements just to make sure that your internship is appropriate for this class. And then you're also going to fill out that contract, the learning contract. If you've not done that, that is a prerequisite to even taking this class, is you have to have the experience, your location, the kinds of things you're going to be doing in your internship. It has to be approved by me before you actually can complete this class. And part of that process is coming up with some really concrete, specific learning goals that are going to add to your skill set. So for instance, if you're a PR Strat-Com major, you might say, I would really love to learn more about how analytics are used by an organization to increase their brand or awareness in their customer base of who they are and what they stand for. So I want to understand, I know about analytics, but I want to understand how companies actually use them. That might be a learning goal. Or if you're a relational comm major, maybe you want to understand how to use some of your relational comm understanding and skills in family and group processing and interpersonal relationship building in a ministry setting. And you want to understand how those work perhaps in working with youth in a nonprofit organization. There's lots of different communication goals that you can have for your various internship settings, but they need to be concrete and they need to be something that's going to add to what you already know how to do and maybe have done before. Then the second part of that area in the contract is meeting with your supervisor and strategizing with them, okay, what are the tasks and responsibilities and meetings that I'm going to be involved in to help get me to my goals? And that has to be done in concert with your supervisor. And then both of you sign that contract at the end, and you'll upload that onto the Moodle site. There's a link at the top of the Moodle site for you to upload your contracts. So read through the syllabus, look at the purpose of the course and the things that we're going to be doing. Upload your contract and make sure that that is completed and signed by your supervisor. And then you're also going to upload, there's a separate link on the Moodle site for uploading your site details. And there are a number of things like the address of the site, your job position, description, the title that you'll be known for at that company. Your supervisor's name and contact information. So there's some things that I'm looking for in a separate link that's the site details. I have to report these things. All off-campus engagements have to report these things on the part of Bethel. The next thing you want to do is kind of look down at the weekly schedule and just browse through. You'll see that I'm asking you to do one thing each week. Well, usually it's one thing. Sometimes there's a couple of little things. But normally it's, for instance, on a given week, I'll post some questions like about organizational culture after you've worked there for a few weeks, and you'll respond to those prompts. And I'm looking on average for the combined answers to the prompts. I'm looking for 400 to 500 words or 400 to 600 words or so. I think think of 150 words per question that I ask. And so if I ask 4 questions, then you're going to be looking at about 600 words. And so those prompts are all designed to get you thinking career-wise. Where do I want to work after graduation? How am I going to search? What search strategies am I going to use to try to find my first job? How am I going to build relationships and networks so that I can leverage those when I am looking for my first job? And so every week it's a couple of prompts and you're going to respond to those. Or sometimes it's a video I'll have you watch, and then you'll respond to that out on Perusall. Sometimes it's an activity that you'll do. For instance, the networking week, you'll actually meet with one of your colleagues or somebody in your industry outside of your normal working hours, get coffee with them, get lunch, pick their brain on what they do, why they do it, why they got into it, how they got into it. So every week it's one thing. They're always due by Friday. So Friday, think of the end of the work week. I'm trying to get you into a professional mindset. Friday's the end of the work week. This is when deadlines are, my due dates are. And then I'm also going to have you do time tracking. There's a spreadsheet at the top of the site. You need to click into that, put your name on a line, and then I want you to post your hours every week. Many jobs and many businesses, you'll be asked to time track. It means reporting your weekly hours, because oftentimes you're billing clients by the number of hours that you're devoting to them. So if you're a financial planner, you're billing hours, or if you're a lawyer, you're billing hours. My wife is a software engineer. She bills hours to her clients. So they have to time track so the business knows where to allocate hours and then bill accordingly. And so I'm going to, again, ask you to get in that mindset of time tracking and keeping up with that each week. So Friday, you're usually responding by Friday, you're responding to a prompt or two. You are time tracking, and then occasionally on some weeks we're going to be doing other professional development things, and so you'll do those things instead. For instance, we're going to go through a series of interview training and then mock interview that you'll do, and that's about a 3-week process because you'll be prepping for it, then taking the interview, then sending your interview out to a few professionals that you know and getting their feedback on how you interviewed in an online situation. Okay, so all of those things, think of weekly due. It's not an onerous amount of work, but it's something you have to stay on top of and do weekly. So this class, by the way, is a pass-fail class, but I'm requiring you to do 75% level work or you will not pass the class. So, and that means keeping up with all of these assignments, because a late assignment is an undone or uncompleted assignment. You need to get into the mindset of, I'm responsible for this. This is my job. I have to do this every single week. And so part of it is just training yourself to realize that other people are depending on you and I have to get these things done on time. Okay, so 75% level work is what I'm looking for to get a passing mark in this class, a satisfactory grade. And you only can miss, if you can miss up to 2 assignments of the prompts. You can't miss the interview assignment, things like that. But a weekly prompt, for instance, if you missed 2 of those, that's forgiven, that you'll still pass with the 75%. But if you miss more than 2, then you'll be retaking the internship class for credit. So apologies for that, but that's the caliber of work. Of course, 100% means completing all of the assignments. So set your goal at 100%. That's what I'm hoping you'll do. We will be doing an interview process, as I said, and it's done on this platform called Interview Prep. And you'll get an email a week or 2 ahead of when we're doing that, because I have to invite you into that software, creating an account. And then you go in there, you put in your information, and then you'll be able to access the interview training materials. And we'll do a practice round before you do the full round. The week that you're prepping, I'll have you do a 2-question practice round, and then you'll take the full mock interview the next week, and then you will comment on feedback the following week that you get from people who are watching your interview. So be watching for that. I'll certainly send you notices. Hey, I sent out the email invite, so watch for that. Sometimes they end up in people's spam, and so they miss them. But when I send you that email to look for it, you go out and make sure that you have that. Check in on that site, create your account, and then you'll be good to go. Okay, we will have, this class is asynchronous, but you and I will have 3 meetings across the summer. So we'll have 1 meeting, just a check-in in June, in late June, after you've been on your site a couple of weeks. We'll have another meeting in July, again, another check-in. These are 15-minute meetings. I already have all of the appointments out there on my calendar, and there's a calendar link at the top of the Moodle site that you should also click into, and you can go schedule those appointments now. And then the last meeting is where we do your portfolio review. It's a longer meeting, up to 30 minutes, and you'll walk me through the work you've done on your internship. We'll debrief the kind of key learning points from the time that you've spent there, and then talk a little bit about your supervisor evaluation. You should have, before we meet, you should have sent your supervisor the evaluation link that's at the top of our site. Your supervisor completes that. It's best if you meet with them and actually talk through it, get their tips on how you can improve, and then we can break that down too when we meet to talk. So that's the last week of class. This class ends the 3rd week of August. And so that last week, there are some dates as well that you can book and get ready for that meeting at that point in time. And then the final date is that Friday of that 3rd week of August. Okay, if you have questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out on email. I check my email regularly over the summer, and we'll stay in touch. I'll be giving you feedback on your posts as you put those in weekly. And I hope that you knock this internship out of the park. That's what warms my heart. It's a good on you. It's good on Bethel. When these organizations and companies, they see the kind of work effort that you put into things, the integrity that you have, the caliber of student that you are, and that's what makes me proud of you. And you just leave just a great testimony of who you are as a Christ follower, who you are as a Bethel student. And so I hope that this summer is amazing, that you put in awesome work, and that you really enjoy and grow from your internship. We will see you online.